Welcome to Module ACC WR 3.1, titled Precision. We are now entering the diction phase of your writing preparation. Diction simply means word choice. On the ACC, a top-tier score is not just about having a large vocabulary, it is about having a precise one. Precision is the art of choosing the exact word that fits a specific context, tone, and logical requirement. In this module, the test makers are looking for your ability to eliminate vagueness, distinguish between near synonyms, and correctly identify commonly confused word pairs. As a high-level editor, you must treat words like surgical instruments. Using a hammer when you need a scalpel will result in a loss of points. To master precision, you must first learn to identify and destroy vague diction. Vague words are the junk food of writing. They take up space but provide no specific information. The ACC will present you with a sentence that uses a weak, general word and ask you to choose a more precise replacement. The most common offenders are words like stuff, things, good, bad, nice, get, and do. Listen to this example for your audio training. Imagine a sentence that says, "The new environmental policy will do many things for the local ecosystem." On the test, the word do and the phrase many things will be underlined. You will be asked for a more precise revision. Choice A, make many changes. Choice B, achieve several goals. Choice C, facilitate significant improvements. Choice D, get many results. Choice C is the top-tier answer. Why? Because facilitate is a precise academic verb that describes the manner in which the policy works, and significant improvements describes the nature of the result. Choice A, B, and D still use vague verbs like make, achieve, and get. To get the highest score, you must look for action-oriented academic verbs. Instead of saying someone gave a speech, say they delivered or articulated a speech. Instead of saying a problem got worse, say it exacerbated or deteriorated. Precision requires moving from the general to the specific. The second pillar of precision is connotation and nuance. This is where the test becomes very difficult. The test makers will give you 4 answer choices that are all technically synonyms, but only one of them has the correct connotation, the emotional or cultural baggage that a word carries. Consider the following scenario. An author is writing about a scientist who has been working on a project for 20 years without giving up. The sentence says, Dr. Miller's approach to her research eventually led to a breakthrough. Choice A, stubborn. Choice B, persistent. Choice C, relentless. Choice D, dogged. While all 4 words mean not giving up, they have very different connotations. Stubborn is usually a minus word. It implies someone who is difficult or unreasonable. Relentless can be negative, implying something that never stops and might be exhausting or annoying. Dogged is often used for hunting or physical pursuit. Persistent is the most precise plus word for an academic context involving scientific research. It implies a steady, admirable dedication. To choose correctly, you must analyze the vibe of the passage. Is the author praising the subject or criticizing them? A top-tier editor matches the word's connotation to the author's intent. The third pillar of precision involves commonly confused word pairs, often called the tricky twins. These are words that sound similar but have different meanings or grammatical functions. You must memorize these distinctions for the ear, as the ACC will use them to see if you are a surface-level reader. Let us break down the most frequent pairs you will encounter. First, affect versus effect. Affect with an A is almost always a verb. It means to influence. For example, the weather affected the harvest. Affect with an E is almost always a noun. It means the result. For example, the effect of the storm was devastating. If you see a sentence that says the change had a positive affect, that is a precision error. It should be positive effect. Second, compliment versus compliment. Compliment with an I is something nice you say to someone. Compliment with an E means to complete or to go well with. For example, the white wine complements the fish. In an academic essay about economics or science, the word is almost always complement with an E. Third, principal versus principal. Principal with an AL refers to a person in charge, like a school principal, or the main part of something. Principle with an LE refers to a fundamental truth, a law, or a moral code. If a sentence discusses the principles of physics, it must use the LE spelling. Fourth, allusion versus illusion. An allusion with an A is an indirect reference to something, like a literary allusion to Shakespeare. An allusion with an I is a deceptive appearance or a magic trick. Fifth, eminent versus imminent. Eminent means famous and respected. Imminent means something is about to happen very soon. If the test says a storm is imminent, it is wrong, the storm is imminent. The fourth pillar of precision is domain-specific diction. This means using the correct terminology for a specific field of study. If a passage is about biology, the word place where an animal lives should be replaced with habitat. If a passage is about law, the person being sued should be replaced with defendant. If a passage is about chemistry, the speed at which a reaction happens should be replaced with reaction rate. On the accuplacer, you should always choose the most professional or technical word that fits the context. This demonstrates your academic literacy. The fifth pillar is pronoun precision, which we touched on in previous modules but must be mastered here. Vague pronouns like this, that, it, and which are precision killers. If a sentence says, the government raised taxes and reduced spending, and this caused a protest, the word this is imprecise. Does this refer to the tax hike, the spending cut, or the combination of both? A precise revision would be, the government raised taxes and reduced spending. This fiscal austerity caused a protest. By adding a noun label, fiscal austerity, after the word this, you have achieved precision. Let us discuss the contextual appropriateness trap. Precision also means not overwriting. Some students think that the longest, most complex word is always the best. This is a mistake. Precision means accuracy, not complexity. If a sentence says, the doctor told the patient to take the medicine, and a trap answer choice suggests the medical practitioner mandated the individual to ingest the pharmaceutical remedy, that is not precision, that is pretentious wordiness. The original sentence was already clear. You should only change a word if the original is vague, incorrect, or too casual. Precision is about the Goldilocks word, not too simple, not too complex, but exactly right. You must also be precise with quantitative diction. These are words that describe how much or how often. Words like frequently, occasionally, several, and many are often too vague for a top-tier score. If a chart is provided and it shows that 90% of students graduated, do not choose an answer that says many students graduated. Choose the one that says a vast majority of students graduated. If the data is specific, your words must be specific. Now, let us discuss the logical precision of connective words. This involves transitions, but on a more granular level. Precision means choosing the exact logical connector. For example, consider the difference between because and since. While they are often used interchangeably in speech, because is more precise for showing a direct cause and effect relationship. Since can sometimes be confused with time, as in, since yesterday. Another example is although versus while. Although is more precise for contrast. While can be confused with a duration of time, as in while I was walking. When you are aiming for a top score, choose the word that has only one possible logical meaning to avoid any ambiguity. Let us dive into the idiomatic precision trap. An idiom is a phrase that is correct because that's just how we say it. For example, we say interested in, not interested at. We say capable of, not capable for. We say comply with, not comply to. The accuplacer will often test these prepositional idioms. If a sentence says, the researchers were dedicated in finding a cure, it is imprecise. The correct idiom is dedicated to finding a cure. How do you tackle these questions on Tuesday? You must use the substitution test. When a word is underlined, look at the 4 choices and mentally try them on in the sentence. Ask yourself 3 questions. 1. Does this word match the level of formality of the rest of the essay? 2. Does this word match the emotional tone, positive or negative, of the author? 3. Is this word factually accurate for the subject matter? If an essay is about a serious medical topic, a choice that uses casual slang like "a ton of people" is automatically wrong. If the author is praising a new invention, a choice that uses a negative word like notorious, which means famous for something bad, is automatically wrong. If the subject is the ocean, a choice that uses a land-based term is automatically wrong. Another high-level strategy is differentiating degrees. Precision often involves choosing between words that represent different levels of the same thing. Consider, the earthquake caused damage. Choice A, noticeable. Choice B, significant. Choice C, catastrophic. Choice D, extreme. To choose the right one, you must look at the evidence in the surrounding S. And tenses, if the passage says the earthquake broke a few windows, the precise word is noticeable. If it says the earthquake leveled the entire city, the precise word is catastrophic. Do not overstate or understate the reality of the passage. Precision is about scale calibration. As you move through your route, think of precision as the address on an envelope. If an envelope just says John Smith, New York, that is vague diction. You have no idea where it goes. If it says John Smith, 123 Main Street, Apartment 4B, Hudson Valley, New York, that is precise diction. In your writing test, every word should act like a full address, pointing the reader to one and only one specific idea. To summarize the essential strategies for module ACC WR 3.1. First, eliminate vague, universal words like stuff, things, good, and bad. Replace them with academic specifics. Second, prioritize action-oriented verbs like exacerbate, facilitate, or implement over weak verbs like do, get, or make. Third, master the commonly confused pairs. Know your affect-effect, principle-principle, and complement-complement distinctions. Fourth, analyze connotation. Ensure the word's emotional flavor matches the author's stance, positive or negative. Fifth, use domain-specific diction. Use the professional language of the field, such as habitat for biology or infrastructure for city planning. Sixth, fix vague pronouns. Ensure this or it is followed by a clear noun label if the reference is unclear. Seventh, calibrate for scale. Match the intensity of the word, e.g., significant versus catastrophic, to the evidence provided in the text. Eighth, master prepositional idioms. Ensure you are using the correct gluing words like comply with or interested in. Ninth, avoid pretentious overwriting. The most complex word is not always the most precise. Clarity is the goal. By mastering precision, you are demonstrating that you have full control over the English language. You aren't just letting words happen to you, you are selecting them with intent. This level of verbal exactness is the hallmark of a successful college student and will serve you in every lab report, business memo, and academic essay you write at Hudson Valley Community College. This concludes our deep dive into module ACC WR 3.1. Your mental vocabulary is becoming a precision-guided tool. When you are ready to explore how to make your writing lean and efficient, our next target is module ACC WR 3.2, concision. Just say the word, next, when you are ready to proceed.